Knicks Nation. Today is Thursday. It's the 26th day of September 2024. I hope you're safe and healthy today. Special shout out to those in the path of that hurricane. Be safe. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field along with the first responders and those that are out here picking up garbage, keep our places clean, and those also that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children, victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of prostitution and child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, double curses on the profiteers, and double curses on the perverts that are out here making these industries happen. Fine. Double blessings on the homeless. There are nearly or more than 600,000 men, women, children, families, seniors, veterans, homeless in the United States of America on the streets, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. Yesterday was a good example, and this is the thing. We will never get 100%, maybe not even the majority, of Knicks Nation to stop buying into BS because a lot of Knicks Nation wants the BS, period. But for those of us that don't, like myself, yesterday was a prime example of why we can pretty much ignore all kind of rumors coming from all kind of stupid people that claim to have these big, platforms and don't come with any truth. So Tom Thibodeau was asked yesterday if Julius Randle was healthy. Okay. And he said, I think so. And we'll see on Monday. By the way, Monday starts training camp. They're going to have their usual media session on Monday, and training camp actually starts Tuesday. We here, Knicks Nation. We here for real. So we've been waiting a while, and here's about to go. But Thibs goes, I think so. We're going to see on Monday. Which is that short answer tells you everything you need to know about Thibs, the Knicks, Randle, everything. First of all, he wouldn't say Randle was healthy if he wasn't. Okay? Just like Thibs knew when they asked him last week about Mitchell Robinson. And he says we may have to do it by committee. And he talked about Drew playing a little five. Of course, people took it out of context and thinks Drew now going to start and play 48 minutes at the five. But anyway, he's letting you know, if you're paying attention and not fantasizing, what's going on. So he already knew that Mitch Rob wasn't going to be ready for opening night. And of course, we know they hired Bryant as a big man coach because they already knew. And they're preparing Jericho, preparing Precious, preparing their team for that situation. So when he says, yeah, I think so, well, Julius is healthy. Okay, we'll see on Monday, he said. So first of all, we understand that, and some of you maybe didn't know, but Thibs has a process by which he tells, and the Knicks tell, they agree together if a player is ready to play. There's steps they must pass. There's hurdles that must be cleared. And he's done this in the past. He we have to go through the process, go through the hurdles, and when they pass all the hurdles, they're ready to play. If in the past, when a guy's not ready, Thibs would say he hasn't cleared all the hurdles yet, or he's close. That means he hasn't cleared the hurdles yet, but he's close to clearing them. In Julius' case, he said, yeah, I think so. And Julius himself said, yeah, I'm ready. And his wife said, yeah, he's ready. He's ready. Okay, so this is really good news. But it tells you, first of all, this management team of the Knicks with Leon Rose and company, and then, of course, with the coaching staff with Tom Thibodeau, the Knicks have always had a secrecy about the health of their players. I mean, it goes back to me. I remember distinctly with Bernard King. Bernard King missed most of 2 seasons with the horrific knee injury. And, if he had that knee injury today, probably wouldn't be so bad. But this was back in the 80s. They didn't have the technology with that as they have now. But they kept his recovery, his workouts. They kept everything close to the vest to the point where Scotty Sterling wasn't telling anybody nothing. And then Bernard himself invited a media dude to his workout. And the media dude at the time said, what about Scotty? And Bernard said, F Scotty, come on in here. And he showed This media dude, he was ready, okay? But the Knicks were keeping it close. They weren't giving any information. So then all of a sudden you go through various iterations of the management team, some with bigger mouths than others. But this one, with Leon Rose and Thibodeau, they don't tell y'all nothing. See, this is the first management team that I can remember that don't give public interviews. They will control the public interview like you're going to see on Monday. They know who they're going to let in. They know what the format's going to be. They control the whole thing. There's no surprises. There's no gotcha questions they're going to answer. They don't tell you nothing. I love it. I love it. They keep it close to the vest. But they're cryptic and they give you information like Thibs just did. And that's the problem. Most people don't go back in his history to listen to what he said and know the signs. If he said, I think so, that means he's ready. Okay? If he would have said, he's still got a couple of hurdles to clear, we'll see. That means he's not ready, but he's close to ready. Okay? And if he's not ready, he would have just said, no, not yet. Something like that. But he's always very close to the vest and as the Knicks. So this tells me Juju is going to be ready for the opening night, obviously. He's going to be ready. Thibs is ready to work out his team and know what he's going to do. And this is another thing. Somebody mentioned experimentation. Once opening night comes, see, this ain't David Fizdale, and some of y'all still ain't got that. David Fizdale, when he was the 2 years or year plus whatever he was coaching the Knicks, he changed his lineup every other game. It seemed like he was trying a new lineup. Okay, every other game. It's almost like he didn't watch film close enough, or he was too nervous, or whatever. When Thibs gives you his opening night lineup, that's what you're going to see for 30 games. And then he'll evaluate and say, okay, we might need to make a change. But he comes out, even the worst that I've seen in the 4 years was the Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier backcourt. And even that he stuck with for like 25, 30 games. Then he came to the decision, and it was a hard decision. I mean, hard in terms of its abruptness, not a hard to make decision. And he said, Kemba Walker's out the rotation. And they said, out of the line? No, out of the rotation. He had waited and looked at it and gave it time and decided he's out the rotation. He did the same thing to Evan Fournier by a year and a half later. So he's not going to experiment once the season starts. Okay? He kind of knows, well, he will know already what his combinations that he's going to use. And if during the course of using those combinations, he finds something else that works, he'll use that. But once he gets his 9-man rotation for opening night, that's who's going to play. There ain't going to be no experimentation after that. That's it. Okay? And then 30 games down the road, he'll see what he does. And I love that he does that, because that means he puts a lot of time. As we know, Thibs is a basketball junkie. He puts a lot of time, a lot of film, a lot of strategy into planning his rotation. It don't just come flippantly like some people think, like it's fantasy. You just move out this rating guy and put this rating guy. It don't work like that. He really puts time in and he makes a decision and he sticks with it until it's proven otherwise. Okay? So that's number one. Number two, because they keep things so close to the vest, anybody coming out about a trade with the Knicks is pure fantasy. Because ain't nobody from the Knicks telling you nothing. Okay? Ain't nobody from the... So this is really one of the points I want to make here this morning, for those of you that care about what truth is. So the truth is, when somebody comes out with a trade, it's garbage. Until the Knicks say it's not. And they ain't saying. Okay? They ain't saying. They'll give a hint to Ian Begley. Right? And he won't even say until he knows. Okay? And so, and people take stuff and run with it because of their fantasy. For example, let's take Nick Richards. Ian Begley said, earlier this summer, the Knicks had interest in Nick Richards. Now, that doesn't mean they don't have interest now, but what it does mean, earlier this summer means when they had money. When they had money, they were interested. They couldn't get a deal done. Okay? So the next time you might talk about a Nick Richards is during trade season. Okay? And for $5 million, see, look, Charlotte is a lost cause right now. They on full rebuild mode right now. So they don't need no high salaries. What do they need? They got young talent coming in. They just drafted their second number one overall, no, number one overall for them. I mean, the number one pick, top 10 pick. They got the guy before that. They got LaMelo Ball. They starting over. So they looking for young players. Mark Williams couldn't even get past Nick Richards. So they might be looking for a young center. Okay, not Mitchell Robinson either. They looking for some young dude, maybe somebody they could draft. So they're interested in getting cap space and picks. The Knicks can offer them what Nick Richards is worth, second round picks. They ain't getting no first round from the Knicks. But they can get like 2026, the Knicks got a plethora of second round picks. They can get them two of those and get this guy if they want him. But we wait for that at trade season. For the first 30 games of the year, forget the trade. We're going to see how this works. And let me tell you, if Jericho and Precious hold it down the way I think they're going to hold it down, we ain't going to need to talk about no trade. We just keep going until Mitch Rock comes back, and then we keep going and get this chip. Y'all enjoy your Thursday. Be safe out there, y'all. Shalom.